And something that I was aware now that I couldn't see is that I don't need to blame anybody because I feel drained. I need to take accountability that if I felt drained, it's because I wasn't honoring my own boundaries. When you feel drained, it's usually not because of the other person. It's because you're not respecting your own energy. And when you start respecting your own energy, even those boundaries, when they're crossed, it's not going to drain you because you're going to take action when people are not following through the boundaries that you already told them before. When I work with so much structure around me, like it's so weird, but things start falling down. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to have a solo edition. So it's just going to be you and me. I'm going to talk about boundaries. Boundaries has been something that I have been working on for a long, long time. And if I can pinpoint when did it start, this awareness, I can say when I had my second child. She's now 6 years old, and I'm going to get into details later. But I also want to dive in to the awareness that I've been having recently from my own way of creating some walls. And I felt the call to share it with you. Because we all hear about healthy boundaries, and sometimes we think that it's just healthy for us, but the way we are communicating boundaries is what it is. And I'm gonna share with you today what I have learned, and maybe you're gonna feel a connection or a call to maybe make some changes of how you are managing and creating these boundaries. But before we start, I want to let you know that Balangi is sponsoring the episode today. It's a wellness brand. I created it from my own personal hormonal balance healing, and it's my baby and I love it so much. Okay, so before we begin, I want to share some examples of how this awareness started and where I am at today. How did it start? When I had my second child, her name is Emma, my angel. She's 6 years old right now, and I was breastfeeding her. Something always happened when I had a baby. It happened with my first one, Stella. She's now 8 years old. And it happened also with Emma, right when I was in my postpartum stage, when I was like very sensitive, when I was like super tired. And I was also feeling all this love from my babies. Every time I would start or be breastfeeding, some drama would come up in my family with my sisters, and my mom would get involved, and it would just drained me so much. And with Emma, my second one, I decided that I was going to shut off. At that moment, I felt that I needed to put a wall for my own good and for also the wellness and the love for my children. At that moment, for me, breastfeeding was very sacred, even though sometimes it was really hard because I was really tired and sometimes I just wanted to sleep. But I knew and I understood the power of the energy of the transfer, how I was feeling at that moment and what would go to my baby. So I decided that I told my family, including my mom, unless there's peace that you're going to bring in my life, I don't want it. I don't want it. And I remember that me and my mom were already having like few, like we were crashing in many things for a long time. And we didn't speak for 1 year. She didn't try to reach me out, and I didn't try to reach her out. I was just focused on my own journey of healing and my babies, like just being the best for them. And For some people, this probably would feel like it's too much. But remember that everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different experience with their family. And this was my journey and my experience. And by the way, after a year, when I got back with my mom, it was not the same as before because my mom and I used to be like best friends, but something shifted. There was a healing that she went through, and there was a healing that I was going through. Our relationship didn't heal from one day to another. It's been an always evolving and healing between us because we used to be best friends. And now I can say that she understands where I'm coming from with my boundaries, and also where she can come from with the boundaries that she also needs. From there, I can tell you now that that helped me evolve with the boundaries that I needed to put also on other parts of my life. But what I just realized recently is that I was putting boundaries, blaming, pointing. And something that I was aware now that I couldn't see is that I don't need to blame anybody because I feel drained. I need to take accountability that if I felt drained, it's because I wasn't honoring my own boundaries, and how we can create a healthy boundary after we feel that somebody drained us. We don't need to tell that person, you drained me. This is the boundary I'm putting with you. Actually, what you are going to do is that I feel drained. You take accountability of the boundaries that slipped away. That's having a healthy boundary. That's being healthy with yourself and also being healthy with the people around you. Some people don't have boundaries at all, and they will probably never understand what you're doing. But I am here to tell you, trust in the calling that you feel to create these things that are make you going to feel more at peace with your life. Because boundaries are about clarity. They're not punishing. You're not going to be saying somebody, I'm not going to do this because I'm punishing you. No, it's more about having this clarity of what works for you. And if somebody doesn't understand it, it's really not your problem. Really, really not your problem. You understand your time, and with maturity, with experience, you are going to learn to let that guilt go. It's like building a muscle. At the beginning, the boundaries that you're gonna, have with other people, it's gonna feel so uncomfortable. I remember it just felt so uncomfortable when I was starting to do it. And a lot of people were like, oh, you're so selfish. You're only thinking about you. And then if that is being selfish, doing the things that were making me feel at peace at that moment, then maybe I am selfish. Maybe you're selfish, and maybe selfish is not a bad word. I don't know. It really felt good on my healing journey. And, and even it was something that I felt the call to do. I'm like, in order for me to go deeper in my own healing journey, because I was tired of certain patterns that I was doing. I was tired of being moody. I was tired of just being sometimes disrespectful with people and putting it on, because I just had a baby. I'm super tired. I'm breastfeeding. So of course, I'm a mom. I had all these excuses that I was just tired of that BS. And I said, you know what? In order for me to take accountability and change my own patterns, my own reality, I am going to have to do what I need to do so I can go on this journey. Okay? So you are only the person, nobody else outside of you. Not even if they know all your stories and all your experiences, nobody will understand what you need because of your experiences, because of your traumas, because of the traumas that you consciously healed or are healing. You are the only one that knows what a calm nervous system feels like. Somebody is not going to be in the same frequency as you. Somebody hasn't had the same experiences as you. Maybe they're not a mom. Maybe they didn't divorce. Me as a mom, and I have 2 girls, and also there's a divorce. There's a lot, and also a traumatic experience that I had when I was 20 years old. I know what is good for me, and I know what it's not good for me. So I cherish those things and the peace that I feel today. And also, I am aware really fast of what is not aligning and what doesn't deserve or is meant, let's say better like that, to be in my ecosystem. When we feel that the energy, even with an interaction with somebody, when it feels confusing, when it feels mixed, when it feels that you are there just to please somebody, trust that. Trust and just sit with that for a moment, because your body tells you. Your body tells you. And there are few ways to know if you, right, are not following your own boundaries. Okay? Number 1 can be that you feel fatigued the next day. You're hanging out with somebody, and the next day you feel fatigued. You feel like I'm going to give you an example. I don't drink alcohol, and the next day I felt hungover. These are signs where you are letting somebody drain you because you are not following your own healthy boundaries. And listen how I said, I am not following my own healthy boundaries, because sometimes it's so easy to say, oh my God, I'm just not even going to hang out with this person because she drained me. That's the sticky part, It's like, instead of saying that, how can we be aware and how can we be accountable of knowing that I am the one that is crossing my own boundaries? And if we can be aware of that, and now I am, and it's actually, it took me a little bit because it's uncomfortable. Sometimes for us, it's easier to say, oh, this person this person that, this person this. But then when we start seeing our own things, oh gosh, we're so easy on putting some boundaries, and then this, other things can get a little messy. But trust it. When you feel drained, it's usually not because of the other person. It's because you're not respecting your own energy. And when you start respecting your own energy, even those boundaries, when they're crossed, it's not going to drain you, because you're going to take action when people are not following through the boundaries that you already told them before. Okay? So even if that person crosses your boundary, guess what? You're not going to feel drained, because you are already going to take action. What are you going to do? Are you still explaining people over and over again what your healthy boundary is, but you're still not taking action when they cross it? Girl, they are not going to change it, because you're not taking action. You're not taking action for them to see, oh shit, I crossed the line. Yeah, they are crossing the line, and more when they know your boundary more. Some people are not aware of it. And that's why it's so important to have communication, to have this awareness, and for them to understand why. What is it that I crossed? Many of the times that we start building these walls without being like a healthy boundary, and it's more of like just walls, like know this, know that. It's because they've been crossed so much and we didn't take action that we got so tired. We got so tired not following through our own boundaries. So the most important thing to do, so we don't feel drained and so we don't put those walls with resentment, with frustration, with this feeling of blaming. It's when we honor those boundaries when they are crossed. It's the only way. And again, I'm going to repeat this. It's going to be so uncomfortable, but it's also going to feel so rewarding at the end. Because what is it? Like we're trying to be a good mom. We're trying to be like, working. We're living in a life where sometimes it's so confusing. There's ups and downs. We're trying to juggle many things at once, which I don't recommend, okay? And for me, a healthy boundary is recognize when I am also trying to do many things at the same time. And it happened the other day. I was trying to juggle many things at the same time, and 60% of it collapsed. It collapsed because life keeps telling me, Giselle, one thing at a time. Doesn't matter if you're a manifestor generator, which I'm going to take that belief out of my head. I don't think I want to even understand what being a manifestor generator is. I want to follow what's good for my body, what's good for my mind, being in alignment. When I work with so much structure around me, like it's so weird, but things start falling down. I'm a very intuitive person. I'm somebody that needs to work with alignment, with love, so I can feel and I can see all the abundance around me. But when I try to create this persona of what Giselle or my business Balanji needs to be, it's where it just doesn't click. It doesn't click. So that's why we have to reduce the noise of the things that we are listening, and we need to trust ourselves, what is best for us. Because again, I'm going to repeat it. I said it at the beginning, but everybody goes through a different journey. Everybody. We came here to earth to learn certain ways, to detach certain things, to learn, to unlearn. And the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because boundaries is such a big deal for me. And I'm sure if you're listening, you are probably saying like, yes, everybody called me selfish, but I understood what my body and what my mind needed. And you are listening today a lot about the importance of having a nervous system regulated. When you have healthy boundaries in place, you are going to make better decisions. Why are you going to make better decisions? First, because you are respecting your energy, you are respecting your time, right? But also because you know what's best for you. So thank you so much for tuning today's episode. Let me know if you want to listen to more about boundaries. Let me know if there's something that you want me to talk about. And I'll see you next week. Thank you.